YouTube, starting us up on Rumble. Are we live on YouTube? We are. All right. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to a weird weekly recap. I do not have my script once again. Where is it? Here it is. The show is a dive into the odd, obscure, bizarre, in other words, for strange world of notable events, weather, and sports. I am Xander. I'm being joined by
Noah.
Hey, how you doing, Sir Drink?
Sir Drink. Oh my god.
Sir Drink. Well, your name is Drink.
That's my name now.
Yes, well, because you have that drink thing, you know?
Badge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which,
like guild thing.
I want to know more about that, but like after the show.
It's
But
on
yeah.
a server called Drunkcord. It's a public voice server.
All right. But yeah, and of course, you viewer, thank you very much for coming in and stopping by. Today is Saturday's Day, aka Saturday, May 24th, 2025. So let's jump into the news today, shall we? And I'm actually going to minimize this a little bit. There we go. That's that's what I want to do here. So that way I can get you on camera as well.
Nice.
Yeah, but do you want to do hopscotch again?
Hopscotch?
Well, as in, like, one of us reads the headline, then the other reads the article, and then we go back and forth that way?
All right.
Okay.
Did we just start? I just realized. Did we just start?
Yeah, we've been going. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Excessive sunscreen protection causes woman to break bones by rolling in bed. What?
Sounds weird, but
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, this is a weird weekly recap. So
Oddity Central. I mean, okay.
Well, what does it say here?
Chinese woman with severe vitamin D deficiency caused by excessive sunscreen use suffered a bone fracture by just rolling in her bed in her sleep. Wow.
Wow. Okay, that makes sense because the sunscreen is blocking out all the vitamin D she'd be getting from the sun. And because of that, so it's not the sunscreen causing it, but it's the sunscreen causing a lack of vitamin D, which then causes her bones to snap.
I guess her bones were made brittle.
Yeah. Yeah, you need the D, you know?
Don't say that out loud. Don't say it like that, at least.
Well, we all need the D, you know?
Oh, no.
The vitamin D. Good old vitamin D.
Okay, that's not the same thing.
Well, it can be.
No, really, it can't. Doctors at the Zhengzhou Traditional Medicine Hospital in Zhengzhou, China, reported, I guess it says unusual. It's hard to see behind that.
Yeah, I don't like these stupid little things on the side.
I don't like that it has that shit there.
I can't do anything.
A case of a 48-year-old local woman who had apparently suffered a bone fracture just by casually rolling in bed.
Yikes.
According to Dr. Long Shuang, tests performed at the hospital showed that the unnamed woman's vitamin D levels were extremely low and had accelerated bone loss and caused the onset severe osteoporosis. Oh, God.
Wow.
That's crazy. Further investigation revealed that the patient had avoided sunlight since childhood. Oh, that's rarely wearing short sleeve shirts and always applying sunscreen when going outside. So yeah, her bones are brittle.
Okay, so it was like, it's nothing that was developed over the course of days, weeks, months, or years. This was like decades. This was decades. Like, so, get out in the sun and get that D, people.
Please don't say it like that. Please don't say it like that.
Well, like what? What are you implying? Like,
I know what.
I'm innocent. I don't know what you're talking about. I plead the fifth.
I severely doubt that.
Well, of course, but yeah, you can't prove what I don't know or what I do know. So
you can prove what you might know, though.
Well, moving on up here. What else do we got?
I'll read this one titled "Enhanced Games, aka Olympics on Steroids, to be held next year in Las Vegas." Why are they doing this?
Well, of course, it's being held in Vegas. So it says here, Enhanced Games, a sports competition where performance-enhancing drugs are not only allowed but encouraged, will be held for the first time in May next year in Las Vegas. Oh, great! So let's permanently damage our bodies, by taking steroids and causing testicular shrinkage and rage.
Jesus.
So, you ever wondered how much better top human athletes could be if they were allowed to use performance-enhancing substances in competitions? Well, just ask Mark McGuire.
It's just an excuse to get people to take those drugs, though.
Yeah, and then God knows what the side effects are. This is basically like such a plot by Big Pharma to sell these athletes, symptom, like inhibitors. Says here, in May of next year, these questions will be answered as the first edition of Enhanced Games kicks off. Marketed as an event designed to remove the stigma of using PEDs and to safely, performance-enhancing drugs, and to safely push the limits of human athletic performance, Enhanced Games has rightly been nicknamed the Olympic Games on steroids, originally announced as a concept in 2023. The Enhanced Games will...
Such an excuse to get people hooked on steroids.
Yes. Yeah, they're just trying to normalize steroids.
Ridiculous.
This is disgusting. So
it's disgusting.
The Enhanced Games will host its first ever edition in May of next year in Las Vegas, of course. Why is Las not capitalized? That's weird.
The L is not capitalized.
Yeah, that's strange. With 8 different events in swimming, 50 and 100 meter races in freestyle and butterfly, track, 100 meter sprint, and 100 and 110 meter hurdles. And weightlifting, snatch, clean, and jerk. Because that's
so they basically have all these events funded already. They're already funded.
Well, yeah.
Crazy.
So
they remember to capitalize the L right there. What the fuck?
Where? Oh yeah. Well, that's in the.
A little higher. No, not there. Above that.
Here.
It's in there. Down.
Down. Oh, here it is. Las Vegas.
Yeah, they remember to do it right there, but they didn't do it above. Yeah.
Oh, my mic wasn't muted. Okay. Well, that's
weird, but...
Yeah, that's wild. What else do we got here? Bank sparks outrage for bringing bed-bound 96-year-old woman to branch to verify her identity. We've spoken about this a couple of times on past shows, but for a refresher, let's cover this again. So, what does this say?
It says, Mexican bank has been accused of lacking sensitivity after insisting that a bed-bound 96-year-old woman be brought to a physical branch to confirm her identity in order to release her pension. That sounds very...
That's awful. Like...
Doesn't sound like this legal.
Well, my memory might be wrong, but last I read this article, it was about Chinese. This happened in China, but now it's saying Mexico. So,
so it's happened again.
Well, no, or are they trying to, get the heat off of China and start saying it was Mexico for whatever reason?
I don't know.
So,
wait a minute. So, I don't remember what I was going to say. I was going to say something, but forget it. I can't remember. Oaxaca, Mexico. Photos and video clips of an elderly woman being... Yeah, I remember. I was going to say that the definition of what's legal changes every year.
Yeah.
But yeah. Photos and video clips of an elderly woman being transported to a BBVA, Banco Bilbao Vizcaya Argentina Bank branch in Oaxaca, Mexico, on an ambulance stretcher they're transporting her to a bank on a stretcher.
Yeah,
why not a hospital? That's weird.
No, because she was in the hospital, but she was bedridden. She couldn't move, but in order to get the money to afford whatever to release her pension, the bank forced her to have to physically show up, and the only way she could do that is by being moved on a stretcher. She was bedridden.
These people are just trying to find every excuse in the book not to pay the everyday man and to make as much money for themselves as insanely humanly possible.
True, but at the same time, with how identity theft is so easy and how everything is connected online, and it's just, you can't blame the bank too much in this situation.
This one, no, but they just want to have an excuse not to have to pay her.
I don't know. I can see what it's like on both sides of the fence.
They made her show up in person when she was not able to move.
Yeah, but how else are they going to verify she is who she says she is? She could very well easily be a scammer,
I guess. Like it's a scam in of itself, but yes.
Well, I mean...
96-year-old Fidelia Vasquez Unio cannot move due to her advanced age and various... She's 96.
Yes.
Various illnesses. But despite her son's attempts to file the necessary paperwork with the bank to verify her identity, she had to be brought to a local branch to correct a glitch in her biometric registration that prevented her from cashing her pension for 6 months. So this woman's already almost 100.
Yeah.
She's pushing 100 almost. Basically.
Yeah. Well, she's 96.
They wouldn't give it to her.
Yeah.
96. It's 4 years away. It's close.
Yeah, well, regardless, like, and things like this are only going to get worse and more commonplace with the advent of AI, robotics, deepfake technology.
It said there was a glitch in her biometrics, like her thumbprint or whatever.
I don't know. Like, it sounds awful, and it is, but at the same time, like as I said, and I'm not trying to cover for the bank, believe me, okay? Right. But like, there's substance in their argument, and I don't know how to counter it. So, yeah. Let's move on up here. What is this?
The world's stinkiest bird smells like cow manure. Oh my god. Did I have to read that? Okay, I read the title, you read it.
The pheasant-like hoatzin is the only bird species that ferments its food, an unusual digestive system that also makes it the stinkiest bird in the world. The hoatzin is a very strange bird native to the backwaters of the Amazon. Its chicks are born with clawed wings. It is the last surviving member of an ancient bird line believed to have branched off from its own around 64 million years ago, and its diet consists of only plants, which is very odd for birds. But this living oddity is most known for its strong manure-like smell, which has earned it the nickname stink bird. The hoatzin is the only known bird species with a foregut fermentation system similar to the one found in cows, which releases significant amounts of methane via constant burping. The smelly burps and particularly stinky droppings give the hoatzin its signature odor. So
I totally needed to know this the rest of my life. Yeah. Totally needed to know that.
It's a vegetarian bird that smells like ass. Like.
Yeah, and it has clawed wings.
Yeah. But look at it. It looks like a dinosaur. Look at that thing.
It looks like it branched off from the dodo.
Kinda, yeah. So, interesting. What else do we got here? Australian island buds are so full of plastic they crackle and crunch. Ugh. That's not good.
Oh my god, they crackle and crunch like Captain Crunch's crunch berries. He's actually an admiral, but whatever.
Okay.
Let's read it. Australian scientists have discovered that that mutton birds, again with the birds, on Lord Howe Island have so much plastic in their stomachs that they crackle and crunch under slight pressure.
Ugh.
What is the next word? Is it
Lord Howe?
Oh yeah, okay, Lord Howe. I'm going to say Howe. Tiny volcanic island on Australia's east coast is home to around 500 humans over, what does that say? Oh, there we go. 44,000 shearwaters, aka mutton birds, a species of long-winged seabirds. So it's like a pelican?
Well, you'll see. Well, the picture is kind of grotesque, but
yeah, okay.
They're like a small little bird.
Thanks for preparing me. Hello,
yeah.
Mr. Golden Loon.
Yes,
hey,
the Golden
how you
Loon.
doing?
Welcome to the show.
It's one of the last places you'd expect to be affected by plastic waste, but Australian scientists have made a startling discovery. The birds on Lord Howe Island, are so full of plastic that the little stomachs crackle and crunch when pressed.
Wow.
Last month, a team directed a mutton bird and found that almost a fifth of its entire body weight was plastic. Until then, the plastic they ever found in one bird was 403 pieces in 2024, but that record was blown away by the most recent visit to the island. Okay?
All right, so I'm about to show the picture. So disclaimer: if anybody has sensitive optics, if they don't want to see something awful, skip ahead for like 10 seconds or something.
Yeah. Okay, that's the inside of the bird. Okay,
that's all plastic.
That's kind of gruesome, but
it is.
Really, it's so.
That's all plastic. Like,
are you kidding me?
So where does it come from? Is it part of it?
They're just eating it. They're like, well, I mean, they see something colorful and shiny floating on the water. They assume it's like a dead fish or a stupid fish or something, some plants, and they don't know, so they just eat it.
Yeah.
And they just keep eating it, and then they eventually die because they can't digest the plastic, but they can't pass it. It just fills up room until that's it.
Boy, that's sad.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Right. I thought maybe it was like part of their digestive system.
No. They're not being born with plastic.
They've been eating plastic.
Yeah, they've been eating it.
I wonder if they're getting it off that floating plastic island out there in the ocean.
In the Pacific, maybe.
You guys do know that Cheetos are basically plastic, right? They're just fried plastic.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either, but
I don't eat them. But
I stopped eating Cheetos a long time ago.
Good, they're bad for you. They're like 100% plastic.
Yikes.
Let me read the next tagline. French woman stuck with English accent 11 years after tonsil surgery. That's an oddity.
Oh, wow. That's weird.
Wow.
I bet, that all of a sudden her family and friends probably stubbed their nose being, French. Oh, how dare you not speak like us,
That's funny.
A 47-year-old woman from Western France has been speaking with a distinctively English accent ever since she had her tonsils removed 14 years ago. So not just like, us English, but like, hello, pipet cheerio, spotty,
You did not just do all that.
Well, why do the British pronounce it British?
Oh, British. There's no T. It's British.
Because they drank the tea.
What?
Yeah.
They drink tea. Oh my God, they drink tea. Okay.
That's a slow trigger. I love it. I love it.
That was funny. That was funny.
Laetia, cashier from Montval-sur-Loire in France's Sarthe department, doesn't speak English. She only knows some basic words that she learned in school decades ago, but hearing her speak in her native tongue would have you believe that she was born in England. For 14 years, Laetitia has been speaking with an English accent that makes most people think she is an Anglo-Saxon, but the truth is much stranger. The 47-year-old woman has been stuck with her English accent ever since she woke up from a tonsil removal surgery. Her children had gone through the same procedure before, and they talked in a nasal voice, but it went away after a few days, so she wasn't too worried in the beginning, but as the weeks passed, her weird accent remained just as strong.
That's weird.
Foreign accent syndrome.
Foreign accent syndrome, that's what they call it.
Yeah.
That's interesting. They must have invented that for her.
Well, no, it's been a thing for a while. Like, there's
there's the bird again. There's the bird again.
Okay, I don't want to see it again.
Yeah.
But no, there are examples of people getting a concussion, falling into comas, and waking up and speaking an entirely different language.
Right.
Like there's one example of someone in the States, and like she had some head trauma or something, and she woke up a week later, fluent Spanish. Never had spoken a word before in her life. Never was around Hispanics, but just fluent.
English accent.
So
learning to speak English with an American accent.
I don't know, but this is why I'm kind of disappointed though that they don't have an example.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Actually,
intriguing.
Let me see. Let me look this up on YouTube. Actually, let's see if they have it. Oh, here we go.
Okay, it's Australia though.
Okay, well this is not giving me anything. It's just
not
giving
the
me
same
shorts.
thing. It's just a
No, it was the same thing. So after
it's not showing what she sounds like.
No, it's just somebody else making a shorts video. So let's move on up. What do we got here?
We're gonna read the title, right?
India's most beautiful cricket ground is hidden in the middle of a sprawling plantation. You thought you had escaped. You thought
in history you have cricket?
No, this is news. News.
I mean, news.
Yeah, see, I let you skate with the history, and then now that I did not have this intentional. God Himself said that you are not allowed to go one day without cricket punishment.
Cricket.
So, what does this say?
I thought they were locusts.
No, this is a sport.
Kidding.
Oh, okay.
Harrison's
McFly.
Malayum. Malayum. I don't know. Plantation in. Oh God, I want to butcher that. Varandarapalli. I can't pronounce it. Kerala.
Just
I don't know
try,
where
dude.
this is. Oh, India. Is home to India's most beautiful cricket ground. A hidden oasis in a sea of green canopy. A remote cricket ground in Kerala, India, has been getting a lot of attention online because of its unique location, tucked away in the center of a lush tree plantation. Seen from the air, the breathtaking sight looks. Where am I? Okay, it looks like a clearing from the Amazon rainforests of South America, but it's actually one of the hidden gems of Kerala, aka God's own country, originally set up by Harrison Malayalam Company decades ago, as a place where its plantation workers could relax, remote cricket ground, accessible via a narrow tree-lined road that has been visible from above, and on most maps has become a sanctuary both for plantation employees and locals. So it's a beautiful place.
Look at that.
Just in the field.
Oh, it's
in the
just that
forest.
little thing. That
Yeah.
shrubbery.
Yeah.
Shrubbery there.
Here's the deal with cricket. If somebody's speaking English and you don't understand a word they're saying, they're talking about cricket.
Yeah. That's kind of like how I say it. Like if you read something verbatim and you know it's English, and you read every word correctly, and you still feel like you had a stroke, don't worry, it's just cricket.
Oh wow, crickets.
Yeah.
We have a video here though, actually.
It's kind of cool.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Is there audio to this?
Cool. They like trim the trees down there, or did they just not grow naturally?
Well, no. Like this is from way back in the plantation days, and they cleared an area so they can play cricket and have a recreational area for the workers.
Oh, I literally thought we were talking about actual crickets this whole time. Oh my god, I'm so dumb.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, I thought we were talking about crickets, not the game.
Oh.
That's so stupid.
But you made the joke about cicadas.
Yeah, I know.
I thought it wasn't a joke. It
Oh.
wasn't a joke.
We're confusing each other. This is
And crickets,
I'd rather be talking about the
crickets
animal
also
cricket.
chirp. That they make a noise.
Yeah.
yeah, they
Stop
do.
chirping.
Hold on a second.
Literally thought we were talking about crickets.
This
Holy
one.
Shit. Yes, that one.
No. Let's see here. 24-year-old woman. Oh yeah, it's your turn. Sorry.
24-year-old woman mysteriously stopped speaking language she was fluent in. The fuck? How?
This is
That's
another
so
example.
weird.
This is not the same. This is not the same one. I don't believe. So yeah, it says Chinese
It's not an
doctors.
accent. This is a language.
Yeah.
What?
Well, foreign accent syndrome, foreign language syndrome. It's as I was saying, one of the same. Like there was that one example of some. I think it was some lady who got like head trauma and she woke up in fluent Spanish, like never spoke a word of Spanish a day in her life. Didn't really,
language. Something must have affected her language centers of her brain.
Yeah, but like, how do you pick up Spanish like that?
Doesn't-
Like, is there a glitch in the matrix?
When my dad was before he had his first stroke, he could speak fluent Spanish pretty well. Then he had his stroke, and for a few weeks he couldn't remember how to speak Spanish.
Aye, that's scary. Anyway, it says here Chinese doctors were recently baffled by the curious case of a young woman who suddenly became unable to speak English, a language she had been fluent in. Last week, Wang Feng, the director of the Department of Neurosurgery at Guangdong Provincial People's Hospital in Guangzhou, China, posted a video of a 24-year-old woman who had suddenly fallen ill during class one day and developed a very curious symptom. The woman had been proficient in English prior to the classroom incident, but after she could only speak Mandarin and Cantonese. The young woman could still read and understand English perfectly, but for some reason she can no longer speak the language at all.
Okay, so
So-
this
Makes you
is
wonder
different.
how much-
Being
how much-
fluent and your natural language
And then you lose it.
is different.
Crazy.
Yeah,
So
but
wild
that's
thing.
different. Just
Crazy.
She's
Well, no.
fluent in the language, but it's not the language she is born with.
Amazing.
No, it's
That's
not.
very different.
Yes. Well, she was fluent in English, but she was
Yeah.
a Chinese.
Yeah.
So
So she is her natural language is Mandarin or whatever.
or
Whatever.
Cantonese.
Yeah.
One of
Making
those
me think
two.
of like that one
Still
fictional
weird.
drug from Limitless, NZT48, where they use 100% of their brain.
Oh.
Literally.
Wasn't that what's her name?
Limitless. No, it's in Limitless, not Lucy.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Lucy as well.
Oh, it's a different movie with the same concept.
Oh,
But
okay.
Limitless executes it differently.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, like Limitless.
There's
Didn't he
that
like
drug
go-
NZT unlocks. He remembers everything he had ever heard or seen or whatever or experienced. He can remember everything. Everything.
You're
all-
right. There's that scene he was going on about some like some textbook,
paper
like
book he was writing.
no, some book that she was reading or whatever. And
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and he had read it.
In the
Wow.
corner of his eye, and he realized it was the same book.
Yeah, the same book from like 20 years ago in his history class.
Yes.
His physics.
Yes,
It was a
that's
physics
right.
book, right? Or something. Or anyway, wow, that's kind of weird. I remember that talking about remembering things and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is
Great movie.
Yeah,
Need to
I gotta
that
watch them
movie.
both. You down to watch a movie after this video?
I'll have to watch both of those movies.
Yeah, I'm down to watch them.
Good.
So
They're
yeah.
good.
yeah, let's move on up. What else do we got here?
You need a permit. No, it's your turn.
Oh, you need a permit to wear high heels in this California city. Of course.
I'm sorry, what?
Another way.
Unless you're a man.
Well, no,
Another way to
no,
control you.
no. If you wear high heels, you identify as a woman, and you have to pay the permit. You can't avoid that through the sexist, misogynistic, loopholes.
I was going to
Oh,
give
yeah.
an exemption.
Yeah. No, man's got to pay.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
even
You
though
still gotta pay for a woman just to pay.
yeah,
Prove.
just got to pay.
Prove you're a
Oh.
woman. Wow.
Well, what is this?
Small city of Carmel by the Sea. That's the name of it. Carmel by the Sea.
Yeah, beautiful place.
Okay, it's famous for requiring visitors to get an official permit in order to legally walk in heels higher than 2 inches.
Wow.
That is so weird.
That's
It's a
dumb.
weird law. That's like a Texas weird kind of law.
Texas.
Carmel by
weird?
the Sea is like because Texas has weird laws. Carmel by the Sea is infamous for high-heeled permit sounds like an urban myth, but it's a real official requirement in the Monterey city. Which Monterey? There's like 100 of them.
Well, the Monterey city, like the Monterey area. I don't know.
Okay. Right. Drinking water. Sorry.
Yep.
If your heels are over 2 inches in height, you have less than 1 square inch of bearing surface. It is illegal to wear them in public. This is so stupid.
I know.
In public with that. Wow, you got a jug. All I got is this thing.
You got a jug too.
No, you have a jug. Big one, like a gallon. It is illegal to wear them in public without first getting a permit from the city hall. That's crazy. Permit is. They're just making money off this.
Oh yeah, no,
Permit
it's just a
is issued-
bullshit
free
thing.
of charge. Never mind.
Well, Carmel is kind of
free of
is a
charge.
lefty city.
Many
So.
visitors get it simply as a souvenir, even if they don't plan on walking in heels. That's crazy. The certificate has a very nice official look. It is issued in the name of the person making the request and is signed by one of the city clerks on duty.
Okay, well, see, here's the thing. It's free for the tourists, but somebody's got to pay for it, and the taxpayers of the city. So the taxpayers are paying for this crap of that town.
This is ridiculous. This is like the stupidest way you could possibly make money.
This is dumb.
Yeah,
it's a
just
scam.
really
Such a scam.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say that at the top of this article. Leave it to California to find another way to wring money out of people.
Well,
So-
Carmel.
I
That
lived there
makes
for
sense for
30 years,
crazy ass
you know.
Carmel.
Yeah.
31 years I lived there.
Wow.
Lived where?
California.
Okay, my turn to read the title. My turn to read the title.
Ah.
Okay.
Woman forced to take off makeup after failing airport facial recognition scans. That
Ha!
one doesn't seem so wild to me, but I understand it. I mean, it just
Well, no, I mean, like, it's kind of ironic that
Right.
women are always accusing men of lying when women don't even
Yeah.
have to open their mouth to lie with their face. You know, it's literally called makeup, as in they're making something up, you know, with their immediate outward appearance.
But what they're not saying in this article is what happened is when she came back, she broke the camera.
What camera?
It's an ugly joke.
It's funny.
A Chinese woman was allegedly forced to take off her heavy makeup after facial recognition scanners at the airport failed to confirm her identity. You know, it just goes to show you like how much they can change what they actually look like. A short clip showing a young woman using wet wipes to clean her face and makeup while being scolded by airport staff went viral on Chinese social media last week, sparking all sorts of humorous comments. According to the boarding pass shown in the video next to the woman's ID, the video was shot in September of last year at Shanghai Airport, but only recently attracted attention online. During the short clip, the woman holding the camera, presumably an airport official, scolds a young girl, telling her that she needs to wipe off all the makeup until she looks like the picture in her identification document. Okay.
No, have you ever heard of that show, Face Off? There's like face and then there's a slash and then it's off.
No.
I've heard of the show. I've heard the movie. So
There's Face Off and no, it's face, but there's a slash after face
Okay.
and it's off.
yeah,
Forward slash. Just look that up real quick. It's like about this show about makeup artists that they do like movie makeup and shit. They're trying to get discovered. Slash, yeah, that one. It's that one right there.
I've seen commercials for this.
Yeah, it
That's
was on,
it's
like,
ridiculous.
Sci-fi or whatever.
Yeah.
I think. Or something like that.
Now here's a conundrum
Makeup
for you.
artists.
Mm-hmm.
What if she, in the beginning, had recognition with makeup on? She goes to the airport without makeup. Now what are you going to do? Put makeup on?
Well, that's not your actual face, so you should be mandated by law to not have
I'm
any
just saying,
like.
What happened
You're
if
fine, yeah.
you got it with makeup on?
Well, then she'd be lying
You're
with
screwed.
her. Yeah, well, she should get screwed then because just don't wear makeup. Show the world who you are. It's not that it takes effort to hide. So save yourself some steps. Be lazy and be yourself. Simple. But let's see. Look at that.
Wow.
Good.
Did she get past
How
the
did it
exam?
get?
Like,
What?
the exam, but- Yes,
What?
I mean,
Huh?
Did you get past it? Did they like? Did they get? She get past the TSA? Did they let her?
Well,
go
yeah, they
through?
forced her to take her makeup off so she can actually
and
look like the
apparently
photo.
Scolded her.
Good.
Scolded her.
Good. They should scold her. I would have stopped. I would have said, you know what? Try next time. You know, like just don't wear makeup. Simple. Let's see. A 25-year-old man develops dropping head syndrome by looking at his phone too much, and the picture for this is actually terrifying.
Like looking down, like punching.
Well, it's worse than that. But you read.
Yeah, let me put it in full screen. Okay. 25-year-old Japanese man who spent most of his time looking down at his phone eventually became unable to raise his head and was diagnosed with dropping head syndrome. That's
Oh wow!
scary.
So he
That's
strengthened his
horrible.
muscles to be like this, and now he can't do this.
Wow.
And,
no.
and
Rare
like,
case for it must hurt or something, probably painful for him. The rare case report published a couple of years ago in the medical journal of JOS case reports detailed the disturbing consequences of holding one's phone bent down for hours on end over long periods of time. The patient, a 25-year-old Japanese man who spent most of his time playing on his phone, had developed a large bulge at the back of his neck and could no longer lift his own head using his neck muscles. So it wasn't like he was in pain, it was like he was literally, physically unable to raise his head.
well, I mean, like, okay, to put it into example, I was not able to do this naturally. I can't even like do this anymore. Really, what I did.
I can only do it with my left hand.
No. What I did with both hands, literally for years, for years, I literally sat there for hours and doing this with my hands, and I trained the muscles in my hands to split, and then now I can do this. I used to be able to do this, no problem, but now I can't really.
Yeah, me
so
too.
I artificially altered the muscles in my hands
And why did
permanently.
you care?
Yeah.
But because this is live long and prosper.
Oh.
You know, this it's the Vulcan sign from Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah, Star Trek. Yeah.
hmm But but now, like by being able to do this, now I'm unable to do this anymore. I was able to do this, so it's one or the other, and I permanently
can do this,
altered
but
my body.
I used to be able to do both with my left hand, but now I can only do this. Can't do the other one. I can't do that one anymore. I used to be able to. I can't do.
Yeah.
This finger keeps wanting to go this way.
Yeah, my pinkies just don't like lining up. This is close. I'm really struggling, and this is as close as I get. My pinky just likes to be out there. So
I'm not
Mine-
going to
mine
show
I
you
can't-
the
I can do
sign
this
that
one,
my
I can't
fingers
do-
can do.
what this?
Having trouble with
Yeah,
it.
that's
Having
it.
trouble with the small finger and the ring finger.
But let me show you that this is once again viewer discretion advised. Look at that right
There's
there.
his knot,
That's
see?
his little nub.
That's
No,
not
but
good.
look at his spine.
That's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Look at his spine.
It's dangerous.
Because he's always doing this.
Yeah, well, look
you know?
at that. The knot is what's preventing him right there.
Well, yeah,
very
but that's
dangerous.
his spine poking out because of all the years he's permanently altered his body, like
I'm
how I
talking
did with
above
this.
it. Isn't that another knot?
Right here?
Up.
Here?
Right there. No, right there.
No, that's the back of his head.
It
That's
looks
the nape of his neck.
Okay. It looks like a knot
That's
right
crazy.
there.
That
No,
looks
right
like
here,
dangerous.
there's a
Yeah,
little
that
knot.
is too.
And that's his spine pushing out. Look at his vertebrae.
Yeah, no, I know. It's horrible.
You know? But what's really scary, let's see if I can look this up. Skull curse. Mobile phones. Let's see if I can
What?
find this. Skull spur. Skull spur. Here we go. This is what I'm trying to find. People are starting to develop these. A lot of people, especially of our and younger generations, Sir Noah, on the back of their skull, because they're always looking down at their phones, and this is after 15,
Years.
20 years and years and years. We are evolutionarily starting to design a counterweight in our skull to balance out always looking down, like a tail.
Yeah.
Right.
So that is happening in humans right now. Like people are being born with these, little spurs in the skull to counterweight, and because we are forcing our evolutionary genome to compensate for looking down.
Right.
That's scary.
Very.
Like
It is.
so. Anyway, what else do we got here? Food vendor avenges family members by killing 40 gang members with poison empanadas. Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Stay there. A Haitian woman who lost who had lost family members to a violent criminal gang, took her revenge by poisoning 40 gang members with tainted empanadas, which is, what kind of food is that?
It's a Hispanic food. Like I only know of empanada. Let's see,
I don't know what that is.
Not. It's like a dessert enchilada. Like.
Okay, so like, they got poisoned with.
This is an empanada. So it's like a taco. It's like a calzone, but not pizza. So.
Okay. Haiti has long been at the mercy of violent street gangs, and many families have suffered tragedies at the hands of these ruthless criminals. But few ever dared to fight back for fear of their loved one's safety. But vigilantes do exist. One woman in the Kenskoff district of Port-au-Prince, Haiti's capital city, made international news headlines after carrying out a massacre in the ranks of a local gang that had reportedly been responsible for the deaths of several of her family members. A respected street vendor specialized in pâtés, I guess, I'm not trying to say it, Haitian version of empanadas, the woman recently offered dozens of gang members free pâtés as thanks for protecting her neighborhood. In reality, she was carrying out revenge against the people who had terrorized and killed several of her family members.
You reap what you sow, criminals.
They sport, or did she just give them to them like that?
Well, no,
she's my new hero.
Yeah, no, wow, and they ate it, thinking that they were protecting her neighborhood. What a good. I hope they're rotting in hell.
In reality, she was protecting her neighborhood.
Well, no, she was
not the way they were thinking.
No, she was giving them the food and telling them thank you for protecting her.
That's right.
Yeah.
And in reality, she is protecting her neighborhood, but in a very different way.
Yeah. Well. Okay.
40 gang members.
Good. Good riddance to bad cheese. So, what else do we have here?
Japanese airport hasn't lost a single piece of baggage in 30 years. Wow.
I find that hard to believe, but it is Japan. They're incredibly organized over there. So it says here, Kansai International Airport welcomes tens of millions of passengers every year, but it has developed a system that ensures none of their baggage ever goes missing. Losing a piece of baggage is always a risk at airports. For example, in the U.S., data from the Bureau of Transportation Statistics shows that domestic flights lose about 3 million bags every year. Wow. With hundreds of millions...
one time when I was like 9 or 8 or 9, we had a bag go missing. It had a lot of my mom's clothes in it. Mm. We came back from our vacation. We were on the way to our vacation spot or something like that, and the bag, it was a big fucking suitcase, and it went totally missing. We stayed there for an extra hour trying to figure out where it was, and it never showed up.
And never found it?
Someone probably took it.
Probably.
Or something.
Yeah.
Because it was never seen again by us, at least.
That's sad. I wonder if that one guy stole it so he could wear, the dresses like he did. The guy in charge of the nuclear or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah, the bald dude.
Yeah.
Nuclear wear. Yeah. With hundreds of millions of individual bags to handle, losing some of them seems like an inevitability, and yet one busy airport in Japan claims to have never lost a piece of baggage in its 3 decades of operation. Kansai International Airport, which serves the city of Osaka, opened in September of 1994 to relieve the crowded Osaka International Airport and has been welcoming millions of passengers per year ever since. The staff at Kansai Airport pride themselves on being extremely efficient at handling passenger baggage, so much so that they have never lost one once. Well,
now, here's my question. Does that include your baggage you don't get, then they run a search for it, and it comes up, it went to a different airport or whatever, and you eventually get it back a week later? That was only missing luggage, not lost.
Technically correct. So that is a good.
That counts.
Yeah, that is a good.
But we still never saw that suitcase again that we lost.
Oh, that's lost, gone.
Yeah,
that's
it was a huge suitcase. It was the biggest suitcase we had.
Well, that's probably what maybe somebody did steal it. They just think, a big suitcase. Oh, look, money, and then they just took it.
Or they mistook it for theirs or something like that.
Well,
I don't know.
Now the opposite was we were flying to Europe one year, and we're on the plane. All of a sudden, there's a delay. And someone checked in their baggage and left and didn't get on the plane.
And so then they had to...
So now they have to go in and find that baggage down in the
in the bowels of the
Yeah.
plane and then get it out.
And we had a view of this thing because it was from underneath. We could see it,
Sure.
and they were so.
Somebody did.
They
did that.
found it
Who
and
lost
they
the
didn't
bag?
lower it down. They kicked it off and whoa, down to the ground it went.
Wow.
Good.
Who
Good.
lost the bag like that? Almost. Who is that? Is someone you?
Well, no, it was just some guy.
It was just someone that didn't show up for the flight,
Oh,
but
it was
yeah.
just,
checked
just
that.
another person.
It was
But
just
they-
some random.
But they checked their luggage. They can't fly it. Maybe a bomb in there.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's scary.
A little suspicious to check your baggage and not fly with it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes, it is.
So,
It's
yeah.
very suspicious.
What does this say?
Let me see. Oh, you're reading the headline.
French man has been driving without a license since 1997. Okay.
Wow. Okay. That's crazy. A French motorist. He's a motorist, so he's probably got a motorcycle. No, a French motorist may have broken the record for the longest time driving a vehicle without a valid license, insurance, or technical inspection. Over 28 years. Wow. Last week, a routine traffic stop turned out to be a memorable bust for a motorized police unit in Rhône, France. Rhône?
Rhone.
Never heard of Rhône.
Wow.
Okay. After checking the license plates, the traffic cops pulled the vehicle over for an expired technical inspection. But this turned out to be the least important offense the driver was guilty of, and upon checking his papers, the policeman realized that the vehicle didn't have insurance either, and worst of all, the driver's license had been revoked in 1997. The man casually told the officer that his driver's license had been revoked over 28 years ago after being caught driving under the influence of alcohol, and he simply hadn't bothered to reapply for it, comparing his old license to an expired but still edible yogurt. That's crazy. So for 28 years, he was just lazy as fuck.
Well, he viewed his license as still valid despite it having expired.
Interesting.
Put this guy behind bars. You know, don't just impound his car. Obviously, he's not to be trusted. Put him behind bars until he rots. You know.
That's the laziest. That's the laziest shit I've ever
No,
heard.
that's beyond lazy. That's negligent. That that you can put other people in harm's way. You know. Like, and heaven help you if you get into an accident.
Edible yogurts.
An expired but still edible yogurt. Well, if it's expired, it's not edible. You stupid. You know.
Really not.
Ugh.
That's crazy. Millionaire family awarded $100,000 after being falsely accused of leaving restaurant without paying.
Huh.
Wait, what?
The rich get richer. I see.
Awarded money that. Oh my god. Okay.
A well-respected family in the United Kingdom was recently awarded compensation of $100,000 by a restaurant that had publicly accused them of leaving without setting the bill. In July of last year, Peter and Anne McGurr, along with their children Peter Jr. and Carol, visited the Horse and Jockey Inn in the Peak District, England. It was a pretty uneventful affair. The family ordered ribeye and gammon steaks and washed them down with ales and lagers before leaving for their home in Armagh, Northern Ireland. Only shortly after their departure, the Horse and Jockey Facebook page posted a video of the McGurrs allegedly leaving the establishment without paying the £150 or $200 bill. The family was soon making national headlines for allegedly dining and dashing, which negatively impacted their otherwise great reputation. So they found themselves with no choice but to sue the inn to clear their name. Oh yeah, because nothing says innocence more than lawsuits.
Yeah, really.
You know, you couldn't.
It's a heck of a bill. £250.
£150.
£150. That's a couple hundred. $250.
$200.
Looks not good
That's
steak
right,
too.
You did say that.
Yeah. As it turns out, the Horse and Jockey Inn had jumped the gun when it posted CCTV footage of the McGurrs on their Facebook page and accused them of skipping the bill. Pardon me. The family had actually paid by card, but one or more members of the staff had forgotten to put it through the till. Despite the inn's attempts to apologize for their mistake and convince the family to drop their lawsuit, they were in it for much more than they had bargained for. The owner's attempts to appease the McGurrs with an apology, free meals, and a complimentary stay at the inn fell on deaf ears. Okay, so now, see, here we go. Like now they're just getting revenge. The rich people.
Sounds like he was a lawyer,
Yeah.
a successful
Yeah.
lawyer.
Well,
I feel like there's so many more things that you could be doing as a police officer rather than dealing with this shit.
Well, yeah,
This
but
would be the courts, yeah.
Yeah.
well, this is stupid, and I hope this hurts that family a lot more than the false accusation ever could, because now they're taking these. Rich people don't get rich by being good people. They get rich by doing things like this, taking advantage.
Screwing over the people who...
Yeah. And now they're suing this restaurant who made an honest mistake. The restaurant shouldn't have posted it on their Facebook, but to sue them and everything, you're not doing anything better than them, but you're the one who's going to have more money at the end, and this is how the rich get rich.
And it sounded like the restaurant tried to do right by him, giving him, what was it, free stuff.
They gave him an apology, free meals, complimentary stay.
Yeah.
Oh no, we want to ring you out. Like responding to jerkishness with jerkishness makes both parties wrong, but at the end of the day, the one who's the jerk the last is the biggest jerk.
Yeah.
So
This is true.
yeah.
This is true.
So I hope this family just gets hated for the rest of time. Norwegian man wakes to find cargo ship in his yard. Good morning.
That's weird. That's a weird one.
Oh,
That is weird.
yeah.
Let me read that one for you. Okay. May 23rd, UPI. What is UPI?
UPI is this. It's
It's
a
the
news
website.
source.
We're on a
Yeah.
different website than the
Yep.
other one. Okay. May 23rd. A Norwegian man was roused by a neighbor in the early morning and alerted to an unusual situation. A cargo ship was in his front yard. Johan Helberg said he was asleep inside his home in Bineset, on the Trondheim Fjord. I guess this is in
Norway.
somewhere like in Norway. I was just going to say Norway. When neighbor Jostein Jorgensen, very Norwegian name, rang his doorbell and called his phone to alert him to the fact that a cargo ship run aground in his backyard.
Huh.
Wow. If the ship had hit the rocky outcrop next to it, it would have lifted up and hit the house hard. I'm sorry, how does a ship wind up on grass?
Well,
Now,
Yeah.
let's see here.
Watch this. Just watch this.
take a look at this. It's a man in Norway.
Close to the
Whoa!
water.
Wow.
Okay, so they get close to the water. They're by the water.
135.
Well, it
metre
didn't
long
fly in,
vessel
Noah.
ran aground Of Bineset.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, it ended up
Look at
just a
that.
few meters from where Johan
No, it's a
Halberg
Wow.
flying
Look at that.
carrier, but it's a lot.
Well,
It's a
despite the
flying
size of
aircraft.
it, he didn't
Hello.
actually hear it come ashore, and instead he had to be woken up by a neighbour.
So, how do you not hear a ship crashing on the land?
I don't know how you sleep through that either.
I mean, you must be a very sound sleeper. I mean, that's one hell of a good morning.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning, neighbor. There's a ship in your yard. What?
the horn, the noise it makes.
Sit through that, baby.
Damn it. Foghorn. It's called the foghorn.
Yes, I'm one of those.
Or a leghorn.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Pigeon Fest to celebrate New York's most controversial birds. Or rats with wings. Okay.
New York Park is celebrating one of the city's most iconic animals next month with a Pigeon Fest, a day-long event featuring art expositions, science demonstrations, and the city's first pigeon impersonation pageant. Okay? The High Line, an elevated park on the west side of Manhattan, announced Pigeon Fest will be held from noon to 8 p.m., June 14th, coinciding with National Pigeon Appreciation Day. The park's website said that the event is partially inspired by dinosaur artist Ivan Argytas' 17-foot tall aluminum pigeon sculpture that resides at the park. Okay. Okay, so it's a pigeon festival. Cool.
It's kind of weird. It's
Yeah.
a weird thing, but okay.
Yeah.
Oddity.
Yeah. You know what they should do is in the all the outhouses, instead of toilets, they should have little statues of pigeons, and we all just take a shit on that.
Wow.
About time for the tables to turn, right? So.
Paper.
Yeah. Let's see here. Turtle found covered in more than 1.5 pounds of barnacles and algae. Look at that guy.
Those leeches are really... They suck your blood.
Oh, yeah.
But these aren't
Yeah.
leeches.
Barnacles are a kind of leech.
I guess.
I think.
I don't know.
May 22nd. Okay, May 22nd. Marine rescuers in North Carolina said they just removed 1.5 pounds of barnacles and other organisms from a stranded green sea turtle. The Cape Hatteras National Seashore said on social media that its resource management team responded to a call about a stranded juvenile turtle, and they brought the reptile to the Sea Turtle Assistance and Rehabilitation Center at the North Carolina Aquarium. The rehab team gave her an exam and began to clean her up. She was found with a heavy load of epibota. I have a phone call. Hang on, can you do this?
Epibota, including barnacles, algae, and other sea creatures, end quote, the Post said. Officials said the team removed more than 1.5 pounds of epibota, organisms that live on the surface of other living organisms, from the weighted down turtle. So 1.5 pounds, like, that's probably a lot. But look at that thing, like its head, neck, everything, it's just covered. Like, why did they choose to pick on this one turtle?
That happens
Like,
more than you would think to sea mammals and whatnot.
well, yeah, but I mean, like, you see them on whales and all that stuff,
Yeah.
but like, I mean, this
is close to death here.
yeah, like why did they decide to, like, oh, let's try to kill this guy here? Like, what's going on? Is this an attack?
No. No, they just breeded on them.
Yeah, but like, but
I don't know why it got so successful with the breed, but there it is.
yeah, weird. What else do we got here? More from UPI. New York news anchor completes broadcast while in labor. Okay, Christine, just go to the hospital. You don't need to prove anything. Girl power, whoop-de-doo. Go take care of yourself. This is stupid. Putting yourself in harm's way, for some dumb. A morning news anchor for a New York news station went into labor in the early morning and still anchored the morning show less than 2 hours later. Olivia Jacqueith, the morning news anchor for WRGB TV CBS 6 in Albany, anchored the 6 a.m. news broadcast on Wednesday after her water broke at about 4:15 in the morning. So her water broke and she still went to work. Why? Like, what are you trying to prove? That women are superior to men? Okay, cool. Go to the hospital. You stupid. You absolutely stupid. No, like, you're not going to get any kudos. You're not going to get any praise. You're just going to get mocked for being an idiot. So, no. Everybody point and laugh at her. Ha, 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 ha. Dumbass. Go to the hospital. Man balances 96 spoons on his body to break his own world record.
God.
Oh, let's do a video. Get rid of the music.
I'm back.
Yep.
I'm back.
We're watching a video instead of reading for an article here. He's balancing 96 spoons on his body.
It's crazy. I've seen this before. Holy shit.
This exact one?
Yeah, I have. I don't remember when or where, but I saw it.
That's wild.
Oh, he's just standing still, like there's no tape or anything. It's really weird.
Well, what makes me wonder is, when was the last time he showered? How come he's so sticky? That's kind of disgusting.
I mean, maybe they are using an adhesive. I don't think so, though.
I mean, but like, you can't balance a spoon if you're just sticking it to something.
And,
right
yeah,
there on his stomach. That's not balancing. He's not balancing it. He's just sticking it to it.
To his,
so how?
I don't really know how.
Why is he so sticky? Did he not take a shower?
For like 2 years, yeah. I'm kidding.
That's gross. Huh.
That's weird. Can you scroll? All right, I want to read.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, it's all right. We can go.
Okay.
Young boy. Yeah, technically it is my turn to read it. The whole thing, actually. Go ahead, read it.
Oh, young boys in Poland find message in the bottle from 1959.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we cover things like this every now and then.
The plastic bottle. Wow.
Oh, that looks like glass to me.
Glass.
It's like a genie.
59, they wouldn't have a plastic bottle.
Yeah.
Song. May 20th, a pair of 10-year-old boys walking near a beach in Poland found a message in a bottle that turned out to be a handwritten love letter from 1959. That's interesting.
It's cool.
Young boys named Eric and Kuba, Eric with a Y, said they found the bottle with a note inside while hiking along the World War II fortifications near Stogie Beach in Gdansk. The faded handwritten note was written in 1959 by a girl identified only as Raja. I don't know how to say that. I think it's Raja. Addressed the letter to Bunny, like a rabbit, Bunny, and spoke of feeling lonely at school in Tarnow and thinking fondly of her memories with the intended recipient. I assure you that I am quiet and modest. I do not make friends with anyone. I simply avoid men, Raja wrote. My dear, I am a terrible egoist. I only write about myself. I only think about you. I see you at every moment. Huh,
So
okay.
this sounds like a forbidden lesbian relationship.
Kind of taboo thing.
Yeah, well, especially back in those times. So
That's
it's pretty cool. Oh.
Okay. Yeah, my turn.
Yeah.
In 1938, 1938 class ring was found in a parking lot, returned to the owner's granddaughter. Okay, so 1938 class ring. Wow, that's crazy.
A North
They
Carolina
found out
woman
who it
found a
belonged
1938 class ring in the parking lot of a Starbucks and was able to return it to the original owner's granddaughter. Lori Rue said she found the Virginia Tech class of 1938 ring in the parking lot of a Starbucks cafe in Wilmington. She held on to the ring in the hopes of identifying the owner's family. Using a magnifying glass and some online research, she was able to identify the ring's original owner as Virginia Tech graduate Wallace Garst, who died several years ago. Rue discovered Garst had a son, Wallace Garst,
How did they identify him?
who died in 2024. His obituary in the Wilmington Star included a photo that showed him wearing his father's ring on his finger. So it must have been so the son lost the ring. It hasn't been lost since 1938. So the son had the ring, and then it somehow lost it in the Starbucks lot, and then now it's gotten back to him. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I know, man. Scoops water with his hands to break his own world record. He's scooping, you know?
Yeah.
Like as I scoop.
So. Like cupping your hands. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That looks like that infomercial guy. Oh my god. No, it's not. Never mind. Phil Swift.
Here we go.
Phil Swift here for Flex Tape. This is not a JonTron video.
No, it's not.
My god. It's kind of a
Yeah, like, I don't know. More water is not getting into the thing.
It's kind of dumb.
Yeah,
it's just kind of landing on the table mostly.
Yeah, well, I mean, read the article. I know who this guy is.
Kind of a dumb world record to want to break, but okay.
Well,
May 20th, the Idaho man who holds the most concurrent Guinness World Records titles, each one of his own records, by using his hands to transfer 1.3 gallons of water between two containers in 30 seconds. David Record Breaker Rush.
You can't rush the rush!
It took him 5 years to attempts to set the record for the most water moved by the hands in 30 seconds before he finally broke it again in 2024 with 112.4 ounces of water successfully transferred. This seems like it really is this record to want to break.
It is, but this guy, he's trying to have the record for the most concurrent records broken and held.
That's funny.
So,
that's kind of funny.
And I've covered so many of this guy's, escapades. I've become a fan of David Record Breaker Rush. And, I'm like the one, I probably started You Can't Hush the Rush, Like,
oh my god.
Like, I never thought in a million years I'd become a fan of a record breaker, a habitual record breaker through my news show. Life is weird, So, we have 2 more articles here.
Researchers puzzle over a rash of baby monkey kidnappings. That's weird.
Great. So now
who would steal monkeys?
Well, now the child slavery ring has become interspecies. Thank you, Hillary. On an island in Panama, a fad that one research called viscerally disturbing has recently taken off among a group of young male monkeys. These adolescents and juveniles have started to kidnap the infants of other monkey species, seemingly just for kicks. That's what scientists think after watching a bunch of male white-faced Capuchin monkeys walking around with baby howler monkeys clinging to their backs. The perplexing baby snatchings reported in the journal Current Biology suggest that humans aren't the only intelligent species with youngsters that pursue apparently pointless activities that can be destructive to other creatures.
I'm just happy it's not a human stealing the monkeys.
Yeah,
species of monkeys.
I was wondering which way this article was going to go.
Yeah. Quote, they're just doing it for the sake of doing it to reduce their boredom or have something to do to fill the time and space in their lives, and I think seeing this occur in other species is somewhat terrifying because it kind of reflects a mirror on the actions that we do as people, says Brendan Barrett, end quote, an expert of animal culture at the Max Planck Institute of Animal Behavior in Germany, and okay, I don't know why I'm getting a link to InfoWars in my comments section on Rumble.
What?
Yeah. No, I'm on Rumble. I just got a comment to Infowars Network. Okay.
Okay, that's bizarre.
That is strange. Do I have any comments on YouTube though? No, I don't.
No. What's your username there? Just
Omni Coalition and Aoxander. But yeah, he describes captured monkeys as chaos agents that roam through the forest, ripping up and manipulating everything in sight, and says they're similar to humans and chimps in many ways. You know, like we keep trying to distance ourselves from animals. We're humans are just animals. We are nothing more than animals. We think that because of our intelligence and our way to manipulate the world to our design makes us somehow superior. It doesn't. You know, we do nothing more than what other animals do. Case in point, right here.
Well, we are superior. We're at the top of the food chain.
Well, if I lock you in a cage with a lion, who's going to eat who? Are you really at the top of the food chain?
Well,
or is it our design?
Human locked me in the cage, didn't they? To get rid of me, no doubt. Who would ever want to get rid of me?
You're not wrong, but you're not getting my point at the same time.
I countered your point. I got your point.
Anyway, one more article here. An Australian woman is on trial for murder by toxic mushrooms. Here's what to know. We've spoken about this. Is another thing that we've spoken about.
Something about toxic mushrooms.
On trial for murder for Okay.
Wow.
A suburban Australian mom is standing trial in charges of poisoning several of her estranged husband's relatives with death cap mushrooms at a home-cooked meal. Wow.
I remember this article. The same one.
Yeah. No. Well, this is not the same exact one.
Headlines around the world. The
Yeah.
case against Aaron Patterson, it's Aaron with an E, opened in the Victoria State Supreme Court on Tuesday and is expected to take about 6 weeks.
Yep.
Patterson, 50, is accused of putting death cap mushrooms, which are among the most poisonous in the world, in a beef Wellington dish she served to her guests in July 2023 lunch at her home in Leongatha, town of less than 6,000 people, some 85 miles from Melbourne.
Yeah. Now, if this is the same person, which I think this is the same story, like just covered by another source, years later. But I've been following this actually since 2023 when it first broke out. Mm. But she didn't want to kill anybody, but she and her husband's parents, so her in-laws, they weren't getting along. So she wanted to make them sick, at the very worst of her intentions. So she went and she got these mushrooms to make them sick, but they were up there in age and they weren't the healthiest of people. So they unfortunately, the father-in-law or mother.
It's not exactly manslaughter. It's kind of like actually.
Well, she had ill intent. She didn't wish to kill them, but she did wish to hurt them. So
it's still premeditated murder. Yes. It's maybe that wasn't your intent,
mixture
but it was premeditated.
Yeah, and simply because, so there's a serious problem,
Yeah.
Say the least.
Yeah.
That's putting it mildly.
Yeah.
But
but
a weird one.
That shall be it for the show, unless you have anything that you want to talk about right off the cuff, Noah, because you're usually, you have things to talk about and such.
Usually, but I don't know. I mean, I'd rather... I don't know. I don't have much.
Well, what was it that that we spoke about last night?
Oh, what was it? What was it again? This morning.
Something involving Trump, or
I don't know. I don't know. I was probably I don't remember. I was talking about the new system with the Federal Reserve, but that was this morning.
Oh yeah. Well, do you want to give us a synopsis? This is pretty interesting.
Digital dollar has been confirmed by the Fed, apparently.
Yeah.
Confirming a digital dollar. We were talking about how we weren't on show at the time. We were talking about how basically, what if they could just turn off your money whenever they wanted to for whatever reason they wanted to.
Sure.
Well, do you still have that link from that Twitter video? Where did you send it? Oh, you had it in Signs of Change, right? Yeah, here it is. So let me play this actually.
VC text. Yeah,
We're investing heavily right now. We're also, as you know, investing heavily right now in building a new settlement system for instant payments in the U.S. It'll be the first such major expansion of our core payment system since the 1970s. We found the case for this quite compelling. for consumers, businesses, and just ensuring that all financial institutions have access to the payment system.
Jerome Powell and the U.S. Federal Reserve is now officially building a brand new payment system, a real-time settlement system built on blockchain and cryptocurrency.
It's built on XLM and XRP.
Yeah, this is scary.
Yeah, very.
Like, this is just this is screaming Chinese social credit. On top of what Canada did with the honkening. Good old Fidel Jr.
Okay.
So
It's called advancing government control.
yep. So.
Yes.
But that shall be it for the show today. Please check the underbar of the description for any links that you may be interested, in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. All the articles we read, they're all down there already. Until next time, for all of you and all of us, I'm A.O. Xander.
Golden Loon.
Golden Leaper or Noah.
Drink. Beverage. And of course, UVRU. Thank you so much once again for watching. And yeah, toodles. Or do you want a simultaneous toodles? 3, 2, 1, toodles.
Toodles.
Oh, that was right on. What harmony.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was